Could the Kansas City Chiefs look to trade Trent McDuffie this offseason? It's been a topic of conversation throughout the Chiefs kingdom for a little while now. We're going to break it down on today's show, and I'm going to give you guys my take. Here we go. So, here's what's on the agenda for today. Kind of gave you a little bit of a preview of it, but we're going to talk McDuffie trade rumors. This has been the big topic of conversation lately that I keep seeing come up in Chiefs Kingdom circles. And we're going to talk about why the Chiefs would consider making a move like this at this point. It doesn't initially seem to be like maybe a top priority trading one of our best overall players. Why would you consider doing it? And then lastly, I'm going to give you guys my take on the matter. So we're getting into all that. But first, I need some help from you guys. I need you to hit that subscribe button if you want nonstop Chiefs news all off season long. We are going to be here. We're covering the Trent McDuffie news right now, but we've got a ton more on the way for you guys. Perfect off-season plans. We just did a first-round draft targets video yesterday, and we had another one go out. We've now got offensive and defensive first-round draft targets. A lot of stuff for you guys to check out already, and a lot more on the way. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the real ones. But let's get into what NFL insider Jeremy Fowler had to say about a possible Trent McDuffie trade. He brought this up a little while ago. We had some other stuff on the plate in terms of playoff seeding at the time, but it's something I'm kind of circling back to as it continues to be a discussion point around the kingdom, as I've mentioned. Here's what he had to say. Another name on my radar, and he was being asked about potential trade candidates this offseason, is Chiefs corner Trent McDuffie. The last Kansas City corner eyeing a big extension, L'Jarius Sneed, was shipped to Tennessee for a draft pick. McDuffie would have value, and Tampa Bay would be a perfect spot for him. So like I said, Jeremy Fowler kind of seeded this thought a little while ago, and the more I think about it, the more I kind of ruminate on it, to use a $5 word for you, I like this idea. I really do. I think while initially, again, like I mentioned, doesn't seem like the greatest thing in the world, there is a lot that tracks here. Number one, what Fowler mentioned, the Chiefs have a history of doing this. This would not be the first time the Chiefs have shipped off a corner, and under Brett Veach shown a value of corner that is lower than I would say the rest of the NFL. And L'Jarius Sneed wasn't even the first example of that either. I know you guys remember him. Charvarius Ward. He was fantastic in his time in Kansas City, a contributor to multiple Super Bowl runs, and they let him go. Same with L'Jarius Sneed. They let both of these guys go in their prime. Sneed, they were able to trade for value. But I think ultimately it just goes to show that Kansas City will prioritize other positions when it all comes down to it. You look at the Sneed trade, what they ultimately got for him. And I want you guys to keep this package in mind, because the package I'm going to present you later in this video as a potential package for Trent McDuffie is much, much better. And we've got a lot more reasons, plus that potential trade package coming up later in this video. But first, a word from today's sponsor, Polymarket. It's time to challenge the status quo, and Polymarket is now live to help us do so. You can be a part of the revolutionary alternative to sportsbooks with our special invite code. Download Polymarket's new app now via the special link that is in the description and comments to unlock exclusive early access and a free $10 in your account with the invite code chat. Polymarket is a prediction marketplace that lets you make trades on the outcomes of sporting events. As you can see here on the screen, you can even buy and sell within a game with live trading. Polymarket has the lowest fees ever. You trade against other people, not the platform. You can cash out anytime and react to momentum swings within the game. You are in control. It's legal and available nationwide in all 50 states on their brand new iOS app now. And for this week's Chiefs game, Polymarket is giving Kansas City a 72% chance to win. I'm riding with the Chiefs on this one for sure. $10 free is waiting for you guys. No card, no deposit, nothing. Download the app with our exclusive code chat at chatsports.com/Polymarket for exclusive early access and $10 free. So back into the reasons why the Chiefs might trade Trent McDuffie, why it makes sense to do so. Number two for me, you got to look at Kansas City's cap situation. The task at hand for Brett Veach right now, when you look ahead to the 2026 offseason, almost at 2025, new year right around the corner, getting the cap under control. Negative $48.9 million is our current cap space number. No, that is not a typo. That is accurate. And yes, there are a lot of ways that we can create easy money here. Restructuring Patrick Mahomes' deal creates almost all of that, gets you almost back into the green, if I remember correctly. You could cut Jawan Taylor, save a good deal of money. But even if you make those moves, you've got more on the plate. You've got a bunch of notable free agents in 2026. And even if you think Travis Kelce won't be on this list, even if you think he's calling it a career and retiring, which I've already kind of weighed into you guys, I don't really think is going to be the case. I don't think that's a foregone conclusion just yet, as much as some other, we'll say, pundits in Chiefs Kingdom maybe do. He might come back at a price tag of, by my estimation, close to $15 million, and a lot of these are over-the-track estimations as well. Jaylen Watson at a $19.4 million price tag, I think he's worth keeping. I think it's something you have to definitely go back and forth on. Bryan Cook, someone I'd love to see them keep. Price tag looking like $14 million for him, or over $14 million. And then over $8 million if you want to keep both Leo and Tyquan Thornton, who both presented a lot of value to you this season. These are a ton of guys. This is going to eat up a ton of your cap, and most of these will not be, bar Travis Kelce if he does come back, single-year contracts. Maybe Tyquan Thornton, maybe Leo Chenal. But you're looking at two potentially big multi-year contracts for guys like Bryan Cook and Jaylen Watson. Do you have the money to give Trent McDuffie the $30 million plus contract that he is going to want as a top-of-the-line corner? Because that's what the price tag is for that kind of guy. And when you think about price tags, there's the financial one for a player, and there's also the price tag you could get in a trade. And that is important to consider with Trent McDuffie as well, in my opinion. A huge reason why they might make this move. Here's what I think the Chiefs could get for Trent. I think you get a first. And I use Tampa Bay here because that is the team that Jeremy Fowler used. So we'll just say we trade him to the Bucs. And it makes a lot of sense. The Bucs have big-time corner needs out there. They drafted some guys this year. Haven't really worked out too well. They've had injuries. Definitely a need at corner for those guys. Would they give you a first-rounder for Trent McDuffie? Maybe. If it feels like an overpay, look at what the Colts gave up to go get Sauce Gardner. A corner who, coming into this season, and definitely this season, had question marks, both injury-wise and performance-wise. They gave up 2 first-round draft picks and a young, solid player. Probably equivalent of like a 5th-round draft pick on Adonai Mitchell, maybe. I think that's pretty fair. What do you think, Ponzi? 5th? Yeah, 5th. Ponzi agrees. 5th-round pick for Adonai Mitchell, we'll say that. So 2 firsts for Sauce Gardner. And does anybody think that Trent McDuffie is miles worse than Sauce Gardner? I don't. I really don't. He's going to be asking for very similar contract value to Sauce Gardner if you're going to keep him around. So the trade value, in my opinion, should be similar. But I'm going to ask you guys, would you trade McDuffie for this package? Type T for trade in the comments. Type P for pass. Are you making this deal? You're Brett Veach for the day. Are you trading McDuffie for a first-round draft pick from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which, mind you, could be a middle-of-the-first-round pick, depending on whether or not those guys get into the playoffs. So T for trade, P for pass. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. Last reason why I think this trade makes a lot of sense, maybe more sense than people think. Noah Williams, baby. You guys know I love Noah. Number 20, one of my favorite rookies from this entire draft class outside of Josh Simmons, who's had difficulties staying on the field with injuries and obviously the off-the-field situation. But Noah Williams, he's had difficulties being on the field because we haven't played him very much with Spags. But when he has played, he's been fantastic. And it isn't just Noah, guys. Take a look at the rest of this corner depth chart. I think we could get around without Trent McDuffie. I think there's ways to make this work. Christian Fulton, in the final game, first game that he's really been a starter against the Broncos, last game we saw, he was great. He was great, guys. I know I've been hard on Fulton this year. I know. I've maybe been harder on Fulton than anybody out there. I've really railed this signing for how little value we've been able to get from him throughout the regular season. But he showed, and remember, he's under contract next season. It was a 2-year deal that we signed. He showed some flashes in that Broncos game that he could be, and perhaps should be, a starter on this defense. So if you trade away Trent McDuffie, that opens up that spot for Noel Williams to slide into nickel, and I think he could play that role beautifully. Look, the numbers from Noel did progressively dip as the season went on, but for a rookie corner, these are great. We'll take this any day of the week. For a rookie, we could build off of this, forcing 17% of the targets into your coverage to be incomplete. 92.4 passer rating is not shabby at all, and just 7 yards allowed per target. He was a standout this season. He really was, especially early on. But in relief of Trent McDuffie over the last couple games where McDuffie's been injured and obviously they shut him down for the year, we've seen that he has the potential to be a long-term starter on this defense, to be the guy that takes McDuffie's place in a similar way to what McDuffie did with L'Jarius Sneed and what Sneed did to Ward before that. It's kind of a rite of passage for Chiefs corners. And it's why, along with the other reasons that we've discussed, I think this is the right move for Kansas City. I do. I think when you evaluate all the decisions that are going to come over the next few years, moving on from Trent McDuffie at the height of his value, when he is still considered across the league an elite corner and could potentially fetch you a first-round draft pick, is the right move for this team. You've got to think about what that first-round draft pick could result in next year's draft, the type of player you could put around Patrick Mahomes to help you go out and maximize the remaining years of his Super Bowl windows. But that's what I think. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Let me know if you're with me on this one or not. Did I change your mind? And we will see you guys next time. Until then, let's go Kansas City Chiefs.